Happy Friday, my loves. I just wanted to come on and talk about this weekend. As some of you know, I usually do my podcast on Mondays live on my Facebook group. And the energies this week are so intense. And I want to apologize if anybody missed my weekly update. It was never my intention to not do it this time. But I was in a U-Haul in North Carolina in the snow, broken down on the side of the road instead of where I needed to be to do the podcast. So it's kind of like that. That's literally the energy that is happening in the world right now. And it's going to get more intense. So let me just explain kind of what's happening all over the world and everywhere that the astrology is affecting. We, over the weekend, had a new moon, which is fantastic. New moon in Sagittarius. We're in Sagittarius energy until Yule on the winter solstice. And so Sagittarius is at least happy, gregarious, joyful energy. And we want to keep that cheer because we're going to need it to get and move through everything that is going on. So use that Sagittarius energy to always be looking for the benefit. Okay, so instead of being set down on the side of the road and being, my whole life is gonna, be destroyed, I was more in gratitude. I want you to really, if you're in some situation this month, lean into a gratitude practice. At least I was safe. At least I had heat. At least I had a rest stop with a bathroom and I'm not literally on the side of the road. At least there were hotels that I could get into that night. So lean into what you have instead of what you don't have, because Mercury is retrograde until the 15th and going to be shadow really for the rest of this month. And that means the rest of this year. So Mercury rules things like communication, transportation, electronics. So your internet, your cell phone, your computer work, your software, your cars, your planes, anything relating to travel and communicating with other people. And so if you're needing to reschedule something, be as proactive about letting everybody else know. If you're needing to not do something, give yourself some grace. The other thing that's really, really important right now is that today, March 6th, that's why I wanted to hop on and do this video, we have Mars going retrograde. It hasn't been retrograde in almost 2 years. And this is a longer retrograde. It will go all the way until February 25th. And what is really interesting about this, and I say interesting because it's a very fiery energy in the first part. The first half of this is in Leo. And so right now, this Mercury retrograde in Leo is going to ask you to really go inward and see what it is your true heart is desiring. What we have is Mercury retrograde and we have Mars retrograde. And so these two combinations tell us not to engage in arguments with people. This is not the month to push an agenda or your ego. And if you're quick to get angry, literally ask yourself to slow down and see how you want to approach a conversation rather than jump out at a person. Really be careful with how you share your information. And it's going to be that some people might misunderstand texts, misunderstand what you mean. So you might want to be extra clear, double check timing, double check how things are going. Be really, really kind. And if you have an altercation. If you do get into a situation where maybe you and a family member or a coworker or someone have a misunderstanding, take accountability, tell them, I'm sorry, that wasn't what I meant, unless it was what you meant, and then maybe you apologize for how it was said. I meant that, but I didn't mean to be a jerk about it. So take accountability, because there isn't a reason to hold a grudge right now, but we are maybe going to pop off with our emotions. So we want to be gentle, loving, kind, take accountability, and be gentle with yourself. Now, if you want to just be alone, this might be okay. So if you're prioritizing your peace, or you're prioritizing your yourself as loving yourself, this is the perfect time for self-care and self-love and just being with people. It might be that we sit and read a book, or we watch TV, or we go to a movie, and we don't have to talk about everything. This might not be the time to talk about our feelings, because we might be misunderstood. It is, however, time to get clear on our feelings. There is essentially a review period that's really big, really deep, and really powerful going on, where you are reviewing 2024. You're reviewing the last 2 years, which is the last time Mars was in retrograde. You're reviewing the last 20 years of this last cycle. And we're getting really clear on what we want to do, what we want to be, and who we want to become. So this is really, really important. And you're going to see this theme, especially until the 15th of December, when we have these 2 retrogrades at the same time, Mars retrograde and Venus retrograde Mars retrograde and Mercury retrograde overlapping at the same time. So as we move through this period of time, it is a time to review. It's a time to recalibrate. It's a time to reflect. And these are passion projects. What can you find that is going to be your passion? What can you let go of that is not your passion? So it's the end of the year. It's a good time to let go of maybe a project that wasn't working out, or complete something that you have been working on for a long time that needs to be off your plate. And you might find that you're not done by the end of the year, but you could be done by the end of February. That might be the key here. Whatever it is that you're doing, understand that the energy won't be different until March, really. This period of time it's dark, right? We have the most nighttime hours right now. And it's reflective in that we're going to review, am I being my best self? What do I desire? What am I passionate about? And how can I call that in? Maybe you want to travel. This would be a time to really get clear on how to do that and how you're going to pay for that. Maybe you want to manifest. I've heard 3 people say they want to finish their books in 2025. Maybe you want to get clear on what that project looks like. Maybe you're going to start something new. This is the time frame to get really clear on what that outline is. Like when I was driving back from Ohio, I actually was very clear on every single module that which school had to offer. So if you are looking to do something really powerful and be supported and learn mastery and manifestation and how to be in the energy of the wheel of the year and really calibrate that through magical practices, which is going to include timing and a little bit of other fun things, and really find your self-actualization in 2025. And you want to do that in a group environment. You want to do that with a mentor like me. I am open now for Witch School. We are starting in January. We will actually have a bonus activity on January 1st, an activation on January 1st. That's going to be our first live call. We officially start January 11th though. So if this is something you are wanting to do and been wanting to do for a long time, we will give you the link for which school. It's the perfect time to sign up, and know that this next year is going to be about self-transformation, going in and getting deep on the understanding of who you are becoming, that you are worthy and you are deserving of that, and that you can get a clear vision and bring that into reality. So if you want to do that as a group with us, Which School is already got some of the most amazing members, and we're inviting you to join us in this process and in this magical year that we're going to be creating together as a collective in 2025. But this weekend, just be nice. That if I were to say one thing, take care of yourself. Self-care is going to be a priority till the end of the year, and be nice. If you want to say something mean, think about it just a little bit before you say it. If there's something you need to address, really make sure that you're doing it in a way that is positive. And just, if you feel like you're angry, go inward before you share that anger with another person. There is an opportunity here to forgive everything. I call this radical forgiveness. My favorite way of saying this is from Louise Hay. I forgive you for not being who I wanted or needed you to be, and I love you and I set you free. And you can say that to yourself, you can say that to someone else, or you can even say this to a circumstance, right? We can want something, but not necessarily get it the way we want it. So we can just radically forgive everything, because we cannot change the past. We can only change our perception of our past. Our frequency is created for who we are right here in this moment going forward. So right now, what we have today is from our frequency from days in the past. Our frequency now is what is producing our future. So we want to be as joyful, hopeful, and if not hopeful, at least at peace with what we cannot change. So peace is our priority during Mars retrograde. That's what I've got to say with it, is do your reflection. What is going to bring you peace? It isn't the time to get into a conversation about being right or wrong. It is about finding love and peace and self-actualization right now. It's all about you. So it's okay to be selfish. It's okay to go inward, and it's okay to have a good time. I love you. Live magically. I'll be back into my normal podcast time on Monday, and I'll see you next week. Have a wonderful, magical weekend. Live magically.